ask them to introduce themselves. Anne?
Hi viewer, thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm happy to be with you today. Like Lillian said, today we have a very interesting topic, and I'm all psyched up to just be able to, interact and join in the conversation together with you. Remember that we also have an SMS line, 21144. Send us your messages, your comments, and we shall be able to get back to you. Yeah.
Karibu sana Joseph Mua.
Thank you.
You're a psychologist.
Yeah.
Tell us more about yourself.
Well, I'm Joseph Mua, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a psychologist, a motivational speaker, a writer, and a student of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. So today we've got a very interesting topic, types of women. We want to furnish the gentlemen out there, especially the singles or the married ones who are struggling. Wale wana struggle. How to interact better with women. It could be in romantic relations or in workplace relations. When you see this particular type of woman, even though unamkuja ndio you get what you want out of her. So, but before we get into that, I think there are types of people. Is there like one thing that separates men from women? Like men are like this, but women are like this. Like, yeah, is there something that stands out?
A few differences, huh?
Yeah.
And of course, other than the fact that we are the womb men.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't tell us that. Yeah. No, that one is obvious. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
That's true.
I guess you mean in terms of psychology.
Psychology.
Yes, psychology. Yeah. All right.
Well, I think for the most part, we all know for sure, everyone out there knows that men are way different than women. First, as you've asked, the major thing which separates the two. Men tend to be more straightforward with their personality, who they are, at first sight when they meet with ladies. But then, ladies tend to have some layers of personalities which they never reveal the very first time you meet them. Yeah. I'm given to understand you guys have been in a situation where there are two ladies, they really don't like each other. You know that for sure. But then you realize one is going like, oh my God, she's smiling. I mean, like, you look so good. I love your makeup. I love your dress. I love your shoes and everything.
And it's not true. And yet I hate you.
Exactly.
I think he's saying that women are fake and men are not.
Yeah, I mean, like, those layers, they tend to really submerge within themselves. So after you guys are gone, now that's when she'll be like, oh, I hate that woman. I hate it. I hate it. It's really making me you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
if a guy doesn't like you,
they don't like you.
He's not gonna tell you he likes your shoe.
Exactly. That's why even for guys, when they're in trouble.
I'm so tickled because that is so true.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, women, they can really be like that, to be honest.
Exactly. That's what, like with guys, even when they're not in good terms with each other, the way they do solve their problems is way different than how women solve their problem. They would rather fight and punch each other at the faces and be like, bro, we're done. Let's solve this thing and we're done. Yeah, but for women, hey, I'm telling you, if she wrongs you and she has a wide clique of friends, she'll first let each one of them know that you are a bad person.
Yeah.
So that's one thing which separates them.
And this will be happening without you knowing. So one day you'll just realize that you're alone. You've been isolated by all your friends.
Exactly.
And you have no idea. But it's this one person who is fighting you in that way.
Yeah.
And
Cold war.
And they're smiling at you and telling you, oh, I love your hair. I love your shoes.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
It's really not... But then again,
it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. But I think for the most part also, another thing which separates the two is the fact that men tend to have super confidence. I don't know, it's because of testosterone or what. You know, those hormones like testosterone really gives a man like that stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah? Like stand like, this is what I want, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
But for most women, they tend to be dominated by, is it progesterone? Yeah,
estrogen,
they tend to be,
I think.
Yeah, estrogen, yeah, that's the right one. They tend to be dominated by that, so it makes them shrink and be submissive. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why like we were having a discussion.
I'm
right
wondering
before.
whether that is true or not.
Oh yeah,
I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
doing estrogen submission,
I know.
Let me walk you through it. No, estrogen makes
Testosterone, confidence.
testosterone. I think so.
And anyway, we all have all those hormones. It's just
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
predominant one
Exactly.
in men is testosterone and
Yeah.
in women it's estrogen.
Yeah.
And of course, at different times of a woman or a man's life, the hormone levels actually change.
Yeah, for real.
And and basically, are you saying that a lot of women who are go-getters do they have more
that's
testosterone?
exact. Yeah, kind of. Some women tend to have higher testosterone than the normal women.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another difference.
Yeah.
The hormones.
Yeah.
The
So
hormones.
the hormones really play
The
a
hormones
part
have
in
it.
their personality and how they live their life. Okay. So that's like we were having a conversation right before this show, and then
Yeah.
you were like 1% of the world's wealth is controlled by women. Only 1%.
Yeah.
You guys were wondering when are we ever going to reach 50?
I know, because if you look at such a statistic,
Statistic. Yeah.
it is not encouraging.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because you feel like the push has been there for quite a while. And if up to now there's only 1%, I'm not sure if that statistic is correct or not.
Approximately.
But, you know, it feels like a lot of work for such a little result. But, well, when you talk about hormones. And
Hormones. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's so basic.
Yeah, it's so basic, and it means that the world is it against estrogen?
We're moving to the primal construction of
Yeah.
how we was built as human beings. Because when you look at most problems of the world, they originate from those periods now. You know, when we were being whatever, you know, built, constructed, born,
Yeah.
or whatever word you use.
The way we are made. the
Exactly,
way we
our
are.
primal differences now. It affects us a lot.
Okay.
Really a lot. So as I said, that's also a difference which
Yeah.
stands out between
Okay.
the two.
So the first one is layered in women, and men are
Straightforward.
just
More straightforward, more
straight.
open,
Yeah.
point.
and more authentic. With especially when it comes to negativity,
Yeah.
like they won't lie to you about, you know, the fact that they're not feeling you. And this is to the same sex mostly.
And there's something he had said when we were off studio, that when people get married, when a couple gets married or settles down, after a while the lady both become comfortable.
Yeah.
But the lady becoming comfortable means that she begins to reveal more layers of her personality.
That's why
Tell us
like
about that.
you get many breakups, like someone breaks up with their wife after some few months of marriage, because now they begin seeing the layers which were hidden the first time they met. You begin to realize, oh, she's so bossy, oh, she's so controlling, oh, she's so this and that, lazy and this, that. So you be like, no, this is not where I want to be. This isn't the kind of woman I want. But for men, it's straightforward from the beginning.
Yeah.
So if you meet a man for the first time and they decide to spend on you,
He's a
that's
spender.
probably how they are like. They will be like for the rest of
That is debatable.
Maybe, probably. That's why, like, that's probably how they will be like
Yeah.
for the rest of the marriage. If they are stingy the first time you meet,
They're probably going to continue to be stingy.
exactly. And I never seen a man who is stingy on the first date and then you say later on, you know, they're going to change. No. Because men are
But a lot of
straightforward.
women do have that issue that the kind of man they dated is very different from the kind of man who they're married to. And you see, the understanding is that when a man is trying to get a woman inside the box, the way they behave is very different from when the woman is already in the box.
Okay.
This is my thought on that. I think there are things women look away when they're in love. They're there, but
They
you just
ignore.
alikuombaka kitu like unaweza nitumia, can you loan me some money, I'll pay you back on Monday. You know, and as a woman, you know that is not within the rules of dating.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to borrow money from me, especially when we're dating.
You know?
You know that, but you're so in love with him, so you're like, it's normal, it's life.
Let me do it.
It can happen to anyone, you know. So my thought on that is that I think women see things and then they don't want to see them.
They ignore some
They
signs.
Ignore,
Brush them
yeah.
They ignore some
Yeah,
signs.
so it's not that the guy changed.
It's that he was like that from the beginning,
Yeah.
but you were able to
You
to
were
cover
blind.
that.
Yeah.
But now,
Convince
when you
yourself.
get married, now you don't want to cover. Now you want to see.
Yeah.
And
There's a
deal.
lady who told me, there's a lady who divorced from her husband. And when I asked her why, she said, you know, when a man tells you something, you better believe him. So when they were getting married, the man said he doesn't want children.
Okay.
And so women, we tend to just say, he'll change.
Yeah, we think we think we can fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can
I
fix
have the
that.
power.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
Yeah.
Trust
I can
me,
do
you
this.
will want kids.
Yeah. And so when she got a child, he lost interest.
Oh.
He loves the child, but he just lost interest in the marriage.
Okay.
It's so, I find it mysterious. Why would you lose interest because of a child? But he had said it.
Before, and
Yeah.
she sort of like downplayed it, and now it came back as a real reality that she should probably have sort of
Yeah.
it accepted from the beginning. And the man was honest. You remember what she said about men? They're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
honest,
Very straightforward, yeah.
You see, that's a very good example because the man was very straightforward about I don't want children. The woman was very layered. She's like, okay, I
Yeah.
also don't want.
Yeah.
And then get
Later
into
on,
the
she came
marriage,
out, yeah.
and then now that layer now has
Yeah.
been peeled off, and she's like, of course I want children.
Come
you see,
on,
that's
yeah,
a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yep.
actually agrees with what he said.
It does, yeah.
Now you see the point, right?
Okay, so let's go into types of women.
Yes.
Okay. Well, for me, I think we have different types of women. Basic level, you know, there are people who will talk about complicated stuff, psychology. There are really fanciful words for things like choleric, sanguines, things like that. Phlegmatic, melancholic.
Those are personality types.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for me, I tend to really simplify it to the most basic of understanding. You know, they're just the plain one, like amazing, not amazing. Well, I know this one is not going to be a good one for you, but
Yeah.
amazing in such a way like there's that type of woman, when you look at them, you go like, she's so ambitious, she's so driven, so talented. So for every man out there, when they look at them, they'll be like, wow, she's so amazing. I really like what she's doing. She's everywhere, up and down, trying to solve things, trying to make some goals, trying to do this and that. And then we have another type, which is, well, not amazing, it's not a good one to use, but she's really low, timid.
It's
Low
easy
key.
to understand.
Low-key, yeah. Low-key. She's just submissive, maybe. But, you know, she's the kind of woman who will just do anything underground. Yeah, they don't like to be up here. They don't like to be recognized, so they probably will put more effort and diligently work on things which do not really push her forward because she likes it from inside herself.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So these two types of women are the most dominating in the industry right out there. And I feel like most men, especially with the current generation, they're looking, because things are changing. You know, back in the days, the world was really up for women who were timid and submissive because you wanted their wife material.
Yeah.
Because back then, children and having a family, someone to take care of everything was considered wealth. So they looked for that kind of woman. But now, because of the changing world and the dynamics and everything, they're looking for the amazing type.
Okay.
The one who is driven.
Dominant. sort of.
Exactly, and bossy and all that. Yeah, so for me, those are the two basic types of women.
Yes, over to you, Leah. Let us discuss that, baby.
Hey, discuss. Hey, okay, sawa. So this low-key woman, is it the one that easily settles? We were talking about in a recent show about house stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
And I think there are two types of stay-at-home moms. There are some that it's circumstantial, like I will get out of here as soon as possible. And then there are some that settle and they love it, and they'll do anything to support their man to make it work.
Yeah, we have to get to the top together.
Is that woman who settles into the stay-at-home role, is that the low-key woman you're talking about?
That's the timid woman I'm talking about. And as I said, in my book, 50 Insights I Wish They Had Taught Me in School, we have to move with times.
Okay.
Because if you don't, like Charles Darwin said, the law of evolution, you have to evolve or you die or get left behind. So in this world we're living in, it demands people who are driven, people who have goals. And that timidness, it's not a primal construction in themselves, such that they cannot overcome it. It's just a certain type of mindset they've put for themselves.
All right, I get what you're talking about, and I understand very well. So my issue is a little interesting because I find that men are very two-faced about the kind of woman they want.
Okay.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So men, they do want that dominant, goal-driven, successful, ambitious woman to be with, and
Push their
but when
goals.
they come, but then there's another side of men that also wants
The submissive type.
submissive. I don't know whether to say timid or what, but the other
Meek.
kind of woman.
Uh-huh.
And can one woman, here's my question, can a woman be both? Like outside your amazing, to use your choice
Yeah.
of words,
Yeah.
and when you get home, you're not amazing, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. So,
Because that's how you've described
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Chini. Yeah,
The
which
basic
is
level.
chini. So that, because I feel that men want that amazing woman, but then they also want this other woman who they can sort of lord over,
Yeah.
especially when they marry. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. I'm happy that you're pretty young,
Yeah.
and you can be able to tell me whether that is so, because you find a lot of men complaining that they don't want their wife, they want their wives to cook for them, they want their wives to serve them, they want their wives
And
to
at the
do
same time, they
stuff
want
for
them
them. And this is in the home front.
At the same time, they want that
At the same
woman
time, they
to
want a woman who is bringing in the
income.
Money
Yeah.
and everything.
the money and
Yeah.
everything. So this change, is it a change? Are we saying that today's woman needs to evolve and be amazing and not amazing at the same time?
Or
Yeah,
are men
exactly.
confused?
Or a man?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the better question.
It's possible. It's possible to be both, especially with the understanding of the two types of women. So you can be timid, like you said, like when you get home, and you can be bossy out there, or really driven out there when you're in the business world. So
Okay.
that understanding of knowing yourself, what is your primal construction? Because if you stay down, or if you sit down and you try to observe yourself, you read yourself, okay? And you go like, wait a second, sometimes I tend to lean on being timid. I don't want to push for ideas. I don't want to invest in myself in this. I don't want to do this and this and that. It's not the real you. It's that primal root
Nature.
inside of yourself. So when you become cognizant of that, now you decide to put a 50-50 share. So you say like, okay, I'm going to give in to this primal construction, and at the same time, I'm going to try as much as possible to be this other guy.
That's very difficult, I must say, because when you're out there and you're trying to be dominant and modern and go-getter,
Yeah.
it does mean that you're going to be out there working longer hours and doing things to do with business and ambition. Then you come home and you're tired and you're still expected to start cooking. I mean, that's a big problem.
Yeah,
Don't think
it
so?
is. It is a big problem. It's sometimes I look at it a bit like it's the curse of the woman.
Oh my,
The curse of woman.
tuseme tu. But I think
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, there's always that element of, as a woman, you never win. You're
Yeah.
damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So there's always that element of, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, it's a choice of two wrongs. Will I be dominant or will I be timid? Although what I hear you say is that you can gauge, like you have timid to
Like a spectrum.
Yeah.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Then you keep like, you know,
You can always
Tilting
the way
yourself.
when you're driving a car.
Yeah.
Sometimes you drive fast. Sometimes you slow down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in traffic.
Yes.
Sometimes you're stalled.
Yeah,
But it's still the same car.
it's
Yeah.
the same
That's
car.
what I think you're saying.
Maintaining the balance.
Yeah, maintaining the
Knowing
balance.
when to step on it and accelerate and when to chill. I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is what wisdom is.
Yeah. So so let's talk about the bossy woman. You
Another
mentioned
type of women, because now we've talked about amazing and less amazing.
that's amazing.
Well.
What is another
Now,
type?
here we're going to get a different perspective according to my big boy mentor. He says, bossy women are so driven. And if you constantly get the suggestions that they try to control you, oh, do this and that, do this and that, that woman is probably not going to give you the love you want as a man. Now, don't fight me, but yeah, if she's too bossy, everything will
But
always
bossy,
be...
you mean, I'm hearing you say bossy, and then I'm hearing you say controlling. I think you mean that bossy is controlling, because to me, a bossy woman is more of like a show-off. but I think you're talking about a controlling woman.
Like a boss, someone
like a
who
boss.
is
Yeah,
telling you
yeah.
Telling you what to do. That
What
is
to do,
controlling
okay.
and
and they
very in
expect
control.
results.
Yeah.
That is, you say that is somebody who will be hard
That
to love.
is hard for her to give you
Give you.
their absolute love. Because first of all,
Why?
they have doubts. Like, are you going to be able to really deal with this if I give it to you? Okay. So she's a complicated one, but for most part, how to deal with that kind of woman is to have a talk with her and be like, okay, great. So what are the tasks that you need me to do? What do you need? Where do you need me to position myself in this whole venture of trying to move along with life?
Yeah.
Getting to
A
really
very hard thing for
a
men
very
to
hard
do.
thing to do. Exactly.
Men never do
They
that.
never, because they want to be in control themselves.
Okay.
So when they see her controlling everything, they be like, oh, no. She's trying to, step on me.
She's trying to be a man.
Yeah, she's trying to be the man in the family.
Oh, is that
Okay.
a bad thing?
Brothers. I want to talk to the brothers.
No,
Did
brothers
you hear
need to-
that? Mmeambiwa mutuulize tunataka nini?
Exactly.
What do you want?
Gosh.
Yep.
Okay.
Another type of women, okay, something that my big one mentor told me to really look out for, especially when you're looking out for a woman, is the three dark triad. The three dark triad. We have three negative traits, personalities in women, maybe. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and being psychotic.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for introducing such big words to us. Let us break it down into palatable pieces.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's start with narcissistic woman, because that is a word that is becoming very, very common nowadays.
Yeah.
And I feel that it is good to understand it in a real way, because you could be accusing someone of being a narcissist when you're the narcissist yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, true. That's very
Because
true.
break it down for us in a
Yeah.
way that is
Yeah.
not too general. Because I feel that every human is selfish.
That's true.
Yeah, and what is narcissism?
Well, narcissism is that absolute self-love, way beyond the normal way. Way beyond. There's a that normal average way you can love yourself, and then it's that one which is extreme.
For example?
I mean, there are women who will date you, live with you because of something you have. They're not thinking about you and their future. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about their future. So the minute you go broke, they leave you.
Also, the thing that they want is basically,
Yeah.
here we go again.
They want
Money.
Money.
money. Yeah, exactly. Like if you're dating her and then maybe for some bad thing happens and then you lose everything you had, that woman, she's going to run
out.
the next minute. That is an example of a narcissist.
So, hang on. I totally get that. The question is, how do you identify that this is that kind of a woman so that you don't get in,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that you leave her
Yes.
and go for another woman?
Yes.
Because by the time, if you're going to discover that she's that kind of a person when you lost your job,
Yeah.
it's a little too
late.
Basically, you made the wrong decision, man.
Yeah.
It's your fault. How do you empower yourself to make the right decision and know this woman is like that, let me avoid her?
Yeah.
Do you remember what we were talking about with Chris Hart?
Yeah.
Being able to
know on the onset.
know the wrong people so that you can go for the right
Or
ones.
look out for the best thing to do is look out for the red flags. The red flags, because there's always, anytime something bad is brewing, coming your way, there's always a red flag telling you, man, this is not
Like a
this is, this is not where you're supposed to.
I know.
So for the most part, my big boy mentor told me,
You have a big boy mentor.
Hey, big
By the
boy
way, he
mentor.
keeps talking about my big boy mentor.
Hey,
Did you know?
I know.
I like that.
You give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout
very
out to
soon.
Yeah,
the
we
big
will.
boy mentor.
Yeah.
so the thing is, for most women, he told me, he told me that women are natural givers.
Okay.
That's true.
They were
Made.
to
They're made
give.
that way.
Exactly. So if you're dating someone, and then she constantly asks for money, that woman, according to the basic constructions, she is supposed to at least multiply that thing or put it in a place where it's going to bring more. Well, some little monthly support here for dressing and this and that makes sense. But again, there's a higher amount of money you can borrow from someone, and they end up spending it in other useless things.
So that's a
that
red
is a
flag.
red flag. Exactly. So you should be on the lookout for those small things. There are others who are just party animals, just focusing on the superficial things instead of looking out for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how you notice some red flags. Well, I don't know whether there's more, but I'm still getting to learn. But this basic foundation, that is something to look out for.
So a narcissistic woman is a woman who is very focused on herself only.
Herself, she doesn't care about you and your need. Absolutely.
What about a narcissistic man? I know we're talking about women, but we also
want to empower the women.
We also want to empower the women.
Yeah.
What is a narcissistic man? How does a narcissistic man look like?
Well, that guy is really in love with himself. Like he wants to give out your idea. He'll never listen to you. If you come out with, hey, I need to do this and this and that. I have this project I'm working on. He'll be like, no. That's a bad idea. I only give out the good projects and ideas we're supposed to work on. So everything is about him, not about you. You will never have an opinion in the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is an example, a red flag to look out for in a man. If he cannot let you in on his mindset and accept the ideas you're bringing forward and try to work on that, both of you, that's a red flag to look out for.
I've read a bit about narcissists, and one thing I've seen is that they tend to be very successful in their workplace or financially, because still of that, they have, I think they have abnormally high levels of confidence. And confidence does attract money for some reason.
Opportunities.
Because you ask for things no one is asking for, and you don't have fear. So they tend to be very attractive because then they're very successful.
True.
And of course they will use their success to woo you and to rope you in. How would you advise someone who is completely in love with this person? What's the line between just a plain successful person? Because not all successful people are narcissists. At what point will you see like, hey, uyu, something is off? Yeah.
Well, if that person really wants to keep you, not build you, that's someone to look out for, to really be careful about. Yeah. So there are people who just want to keep you.
As in, they they don't want you to also like prosper.
Exactly. Yeah, and they will constantly tease you. Be like, if I leave you right now, you won't be able to do anything like that. So they make you feel weak. They constantly like inject you with that weakness, which is only going to be taking you down and down and down, such that you cannot survive without them.
That's so powerful because there are so many partners who are in situations where your partner, it can even be a woman, it doesn't have to be the guy, but mostly it's the guy. I don't know. I don't know why.
Blame the other ways.
It's the guys. It's the guys. Anyway, so many partners are in situations where you're seeing this person, he's in a very high profile career or running a very successful business, and he's making a lot of money. And maybe you are volunteering in a children's home. Something
useless.
Something that looks
thankless.
Thankless job.
Exactly.
You're not making a lot of money.
Exactly.
And so with all these huge foundations of money, he's able to tell you, you don't have to work. You can just relax, just start your own thing. And then in that process of starting your own thing, it's never a good idea, They always dress it down. Talk to that person who is in that situation of, my partner has a lot of money. Do I need to work?
Well, money. First of all, understand that money is not yours. If that someone wakes up today and they decide, I'm done with you, you're left with nothing.
You have to start from scratch.
You have to start from down below. So even if they have money, you don't have you don't have like any say to their money. It's their money. So what do you have by yourself? And the way you said, we have successful people, most successful people, because of their confidence, they tend to attract people who just become their maybe puppet or something like that. So the thing to do is, when you find yourself in such kind of a situation, begin investing your mind, expand your thinking, start looking out for, what idea can I work with? What is how can I use this money to build something for my own, such that now this person will not have an absolute control over me.
Yeah, you want to like reduce the power they
Exactly, reduce the power they have,
and
so they won't have to say, because of me, this is this and this and that. So if I leave, you're done.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to go on the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with this very interesting conversation.
Hello. Welcome to the GBS Art Club, where entertainment meets enlightenment and creativity meets exposure. Join us on the most interactive art club in all of Africa. This is the Art Club with Ben C. See you there.
Ni vipaji Poetry Lounge. So ukiniona niko on run pale Tao BS nikiharakisha kukuja GBS, it's because Poetry Lounge is back. At this time it's back to inform you, to transform you, to educate you and inspire you.
Najiamini, ndo maana sometimes me who laugh at my failures ndo ni motivate success. Ni Dante Spy the poet hapa hivi. Tuko vipaji Poetry Lounge live at GBS.
Best Chef na Spice ya Kari no wanda alikuwa mkali. Vipaji Poetry Lounge
At all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, tuko everywhere. Vipaji Poetry Lounge, GBS. Stay tuned.
Echo Mziki right here on your #1 TV station, GBS TV. My good name is Hypola the Experience. You can call me Moja Safu. Kumanza the best TV ever. Lafu shoni gani Echo Mziki SMS line 21144.
Tunakuchezea zile ngoma mpya zenye zimekuwa zikitokea hii wiki.
Anytime ulizia bila God nikulia na wakinikeuzia I know you got me girl, yeah you got me girl.
Kautamu Nikisa maneno nasikia kautamu Ati wanauliza gospel imedu Bisa CMT we have to do Skiza So Bible now we hand so we physically, spiritually, lyrically, mentally
Leo manze tuko na wasanii wa daily ndani ya nyumba.
Yeah.
Tuko na muziki kali, tuko na countdown kali. Yaani kila kitu leo iko fresh. Chukua sharubati, hiyo ni juice hapo, weka nguju ya meza.
Triple.
Yeah.
Tumia mtu salamu pale mahali unakulanga chapo dogo.
Nani mimi? Walifunga.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being with us. Today we're talking about the different types of women, and we have with us in studio Joseph Moore, a psychologist, and he's giving us very, very interesting insights. So one of the things you've told us is that your big boy mentor told you there are 3 types of women to avoid. So the first one we've already talked about, the narcissistic woman.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Machiavellian woman and the psychopathic woman.
Okay.
So that we can be able to understand the kind of women that are there.
Yeah, these are the dark traits to look out for in whoever you're dating, and it's not just in a woman, but it's two-way.
It's two-way.
Yeah. So Machiavellian, there are people who try to get one up on you, but they're doing it in a sneaky way. They're trying to hide it. They're not really upfront with their agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, they have an agenda. That's why they're getting into that marriage. And as we've discussed, they try to date you, maybe because of your fame, maybe because of the business you're running, maybe because of the favors they want from you. And the minute they get what they want, they leave. They disappear. They just leave you traumatized and such.
Ghost on you.
Exactly. They ghost on you completely because they have achieved their agenda. Yeah. So that is one of the dark triads you should avoid in both men and women. And now there's another one.
Yes.
The third one, being psychotic.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this kind of women?
Not psychopathic, psychotic.
Is there a difference between psychopathic and psychotic?
Yeah, psychopath is worse.
Is it?
Involves murder.
Yeah.
Or psychopathic is like those for kill, like For Madare.
They are the one and the same thing. They are the one and the same thing. Psychopathic and psychotic is verb noun.
They're the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So psychotic is. Have you ever seen women who are very, very dramatic? The minute you offend them, the slightest, they're up everywhere. They're trying to cause drama everywhere. The villager has to know. They're doing this and that. They just, wow, it's really worse. These people, like, you know how we're living in the age of mental health illnesses?
Yes.
It's a mental health illness.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it. They get offended by the slightest thing. They are thin-skinned.
And then they blow it out of proportion.
They blow it out of proportion.
Yeah. I have someone in mind right now, but of course I can't mention.
You've had cases whereby someone was burnt. Their face was like they just poured whatever. What is it? Acid on their face. Yeah. Others stabbed. Those are psychotic people.
Actually, when you look at society right now, we're seeing a lot of those happenings.
Yeah.
So basically, we're saying that those are psychotic people, and those signs were there, but they were ignored.
They were ignored, exactly. So you should be on the lookout for that. Sometimes I tend to tell people, well, I'm 23, but I tend to tell people, like, when you're getting in there, according to what my mentor tells me, behave like you're kind of Zen-like meditation. You know, you're holding yourself together, and then you're observing the other person step by step, because these things will begin revealing them day by day. So instead of just going like, this is just the normal thing, this is just the normal argument, this is just the normal stuff, be very keen about that.
Yeah.
When they come down, see them, ask them, why did you have to behave like this? If they run away from that conversation, run away from the marriage too. Because keep off. Because you never know when the next time she's gonna pick up a blade and stab you. You never know. These people are very, very dangerous, and we've seen them, and they are real people. So out there, you're going into a jungle. You're going to look out for your own, and sometimes the outer looks can be very deceiving. So they hide in those people. So it's good to observe and understand who you is with.
As usual, I must throw a spanner into the works, because I feel like sometimes situations can get you to do things that are crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like situations. Not that I'm a psychopath or I'm a psychotic, but are you saying that I cannot be pushed to get there? Because, for example, you can be dealing with a situation which is getting worse and worse, and you're not getting a solution, and you're not getting out. If you continue to be in that situation, don't you find that's how like sometimes you find a woman has taken the clothes and thrown them outside or burnt them, has taken something and hit the windscreen. Is that normal, or in terms of if you've been pushed so much, or are you saying that those actions are abnormal irrespective of what circumstance has made you get there? Like, should you never ever do that, irrespective of whatever is coming your way?
Happening to you?
You have to be this calm woman who can never do that.
Well, for the most part, that's why we exist, by the way, as psychologists.
Help us.
Yeah. When the situation...
See your therapy.
Remember our conversation?
When you find that you're having such thoughts, call this number.
Yeah, exactly, because when you feel like the situation is getting out of hand, it's never good advice or the right measure to take to really take matters in your hands.
I like that.
It cannot solve anything. Matter of fact, it will only make things worse. Imagine if you, like, maybe your partner, they're wronging you constantly. Maybe it's because they're coming home late, they're coming home drunk, they're not doing this for their kids, they're not doing this for whatever plans you had. So imagine if you decide to take matters in your hand and you end up stabbing them.
Yeah, that's how.
What is going to follow you? You end up burning their faces. What is going to end up following you? Jail time. And you're going to lose. What do you have to achieve in that? So the best thing to do is observe this is happening, and if possible, lure them to attend a psychology. A psychologist session. Some therapy. Get to talk about your matter with a third party. Solve it out.
The thing I've seen with these dark personalities is that they respond, in quotes, very well to therapy. They give the right answers. They know what to do.
They know exactly what to do.
They know what to say. They know the ethics. They know how to present themselves.
But I think I also feel that psychologists are skilled to
Penetrate.
to penetrate and to see that.
Exactly.
Like they won't buy it. They might buy it the first session, on the second, but eventually they're able. I think psychologists are skilled to uncover these things.
Yeah, one thing I've learned
Unlike
about
non-psychologists.
Yeah.
one thing I've learned about this whole thing of being a psychology is that we tend to be listeners, because we don't give out solutions to you, but you find your solutions by giving us the answers. Giving us the problem and talking about it. So when you is with your partner and you're seated there with that party, they're asking you questions, they're forcing you to go deep within yourself and root out the basic cause of this whole drama. So before you know it, you have provided solutions for you, and they give you maybe 1 or 2 tips to really help you move forward with making it come clean.
Awesome.
Because that's the reason why people in those situations I think stay for so long, because the people causing them are able to put themselves together. Like now, if there's a family meeting to discuss the issue,
Yes.
they're able to give a very different front.
Yes, and then even the people will be like, no.
The people now start doubting the victim.
The victim, yeah.
The victim now looks
You are
bad.
the problem, yeah.
This victim is the issue. And that is very common.
Yeah, very
Yes.
common.
Very common, yeah.
You see, in the modern times, we understand we exist, but most people, they don't give priority to therapy. They think they can only solve their
that's
problems
true.
with
They
themselves
never
and this
did.
and that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the developed country, this is a big thing. They never take it for granted.
Yeah.
They'd rather invest so much in taking those sessions and those classes than let that disaster strike them to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you draw the line between, like if your partner, so there's some non-negotiables in relationships, I think. And one non-negotiable is violence. If, suppose we just got married, it's our honeymoon, and we had an argument, and my partner slapped me. What do I do? What next?
Well, I think the basic definition of being smart and intelligent, you understand that violence does not solve anything. If anything, it only makes things worse.
Yes.
So do you just go around slapping everyone when you don't agree with them?
No.
So that's something to look out for as well. So if they slap you the first time, it's not going to be the end of it. They will say sorry, but they will continue doing it over and over, and they will still say sorry, and they know, okay, this is going to be fine. So
Okay.
that is not a negotiable.
Yes.
It happens, take your bags, leave.
Okay, so what I'm wondering from Anne's question is, so suppose we are going through a crisis, genuinely, and both of our depressions manifest differently. So for me, when I'm depressed, I cause drama. My partner, when he's depressed, he becomes messy. For example, like he becomes clumsy.
Okay.
He rams the car into things. He gets small accidents, things like that. My question is, so suppose now that's the mild one. That's a mild manifestation, but the manifestation for causing drama. You know, I cause drama. I go to my in-laws. I tell them my partner is like this. I go to, you know,
They
to
light
the
fires
workplace.
everywhere.
I light fires. So this one that is not mild, but I'm depressed, but nobody knows I'm depressed. I'm just venting. Where do you draw the line? Like, she did that because we were in a crisis, versus
She's just
that is a layer of her character that
Yeah.
is now coming out that we
Okay.
didn't know about. How do you know between, you know, depression and layers coming out?
Okay, let me ask you something. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you experience a small fever, do you just ignore it and say it's mild, or do you go to the hospital to get treated?
Go to the hospital.
Exactly. The mildest
It
of
depends.
On the mildness.
No.
On what?
On, I think, some things like the age. If it's a small child,
Yeah.
I wouldn't ignore a temperature. I mean, forgetting that we're in COVID right now, because in
Yeah.
COVID right now, temperature is a big issue.
Yeah.
But if my child is even 37.5, I will rush to the hospital. If I am 37.5, I may consider taking a Panadol and observing.
Well, that is a treatment.
Yeah, it's a treatment. Yeah, I will not ignore. I'll seek treatment, but I may not have necessarily to run to the hospital. I'm near my age. I may know that even if I go, the doctor will do this and I can do that.
Okay, okay.
But if it is continuing and persistent, maybe then I will visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you seek treatment.
Yes.
Exactly. So when you experience something mild, a show of depression or this and that, you seek treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. You find an alternative way to solve this matter out instead of ignoring it and trying to soak it in.
Yeah.
You know, those mild depressions and those arguments, those things which they do to you wrong, they accumulate over time.
They do. That's right.
And one time they are going to erupt, and you're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to seek treatment, find a psychologist, talk it out, solve things out, move forward.
Early, because what tends to happen is we ignore, up to the point that now it is very the sickness has been it's
deep rooted now.
So serious,
it's very serious.
so serious. And I find that sometimes even when you listen to such a person, you're not even able to know the problem.
Yeah, true.
But because the sickness is so it has
compounded.
Like
it has gone to all the organs.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Now it is everywhere.
Yeah.
In your finance, in your
it's everywhere.
It doesn't spread because it was not
treated
fasted. And maybe if it was something so treatable.
Exactly.
But I think that is also a thing of kujiamini in terms of feeling that we can handle, and then you're handling so much, and before you know it,
you trip.
Kumba, you couldn't handle all that.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, we are really diverting.
Exactly.
We are talking about types of women. I think people are just going into deep.
We're talking about psychotic and those drama, how you manage those situations, because they will be there. If you have a psychotic partner, you know, psychotic, it doesn't necessarily mean you're crazy and mad, like most people think, like you're walking on the streets naked, but also how you deal with problems, how you manifest out what you feel does not resonate with your own understanding or how you think everything should be. Yeah. So some people go extreme. Now that extreme is what we're trying to deal with here. Yeah. How do you manage that anger that comes to you that makes you want to break the glass, that makes you want to throw water at your partner, that makes you want to slap them?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
That's true.
So you talk it out, you find someone, because that's the only solution which has been laid forward. Or you pray. You pray to God to remove your problems. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
people
it's very underrated.
People tend to really, our society right now, it doesn't accept that solution.
Of praying.
Scientific.
Because it does
dominance.
look like it's way out there.
Yeah.
People I don't know whether it is the people in the churches that have maybe not used it the right way, but I mean, people are like, in fact, if I want to go for therapy, I want it to be non-religious.
Exactly.
Do you get that?
Yeah. A lot.
You know, you asked me about how did people manage to really maneuver through relationships and this and that in the 90s, in the 80s, and then it was smooth because of prayer.
Yeah, because then
because of prayer, like they used to pray. You know, prayer is also some sort of therapy as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because now you're connecting yourself to a higher being, which, according to your mindset, has every solution to every problem you have. So instead of taking matters to your own hands, you seek solutions from that. So when you tap into that, your brain, what's placebo effect?
Yeah.
Like the way they used to give you medicine.
You think you're okay, then you start becoming okay.
About the mindset now.
Yeah.
So when you pray, you say,
it has an effect.
God, this partner is this and this and this and this. I feel so terrible about this and that and that. Please give me the strength to know what to do that is right. You've given your brain that placebo effect. So now you remain calm.
Even the fact that you have talked it out.
Yeah.
Even if you're talking it out to prayer, it helps, because a lot of times these things are bottled in. You're not even praying about it in terms of you're not opening your mouth to say this. Because I hear a psychologist saying a lot that you need to call it a name. What's you're feeling? Give it a name.
A name, exactly.
It's so important to do that, so that you can even be able to express yourself.
Absolutely.
And even for your mind to understand, so that it's not even confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So sometimes you're right that as you're praying, you can be actually getting some sort of healing in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the types of women as we wind up. We've got very little time, and I would like us to go into
Tell us about the good types.
The good Well, I think for the most part, as I said, evolution is important, so you have to move with the times. So the best combination, I would say, this is according to me, talking on behalf of other men, is we need someone who is both 50-50, as we said before.
Wow.
Yeah, you're both a homekeeper, and you're still contributing to making that home sustain itself. So when that balance is there, trust me, there will never be no room for arguments or the petty issues that end up destroying marriages and relationships.
Here we go again, putting a lot of weight on women.
Yeah, they do, but well, it's a women's show.
Yeah, because I also want to tell, anyway, we need to have another show where we also talk about the man, what women want, the kind of man women want. Yeah. Now we're happy to know that the kind of woman men want
is 50-50.
Very balanced woman.
Yes.
Very balanced. You need to be a go-getter.
Yes.
You need to be amazing. You need to be less amazing in other ways where you can now serve and whatever.
Exactly.
Which is being called less amazing.
Yeah.
That is to be able to do those things is amazing.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing not amazing about being able to serve people.
Yeah, it's still amazing.
Being submissive.
I think it's just being low-key versus being bold. Yeah. So you have your bold areas, you know the places where you should be bold, and then there are times you're able to discern the moments where you should be low-key. What I wanted to ask is, between introverts and extroverts, who is more successful in the workplace?
Well, it's relative.
Okay.
But then I think there's a third type you're leaving out, ambiverts. Which is both.
Almost a 50-50.
What we are talking, the goal,
exactly.
the dream.
This life, you have to balance everything out.
Yeah,
you have to balance everything out. You cannot afford to go on extremes.
But there are certain professions that favor certain extremes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Probably.
There are certain professions that favor introverts. There are certain professions that favor extroverts. And then there are those ones for ambiverts. But
yeah. But in the case of marriage, I don't know whether you are putting this question to be in that.
I was in the career, but we can talk about marriage
as well.
Okay, yeah, that's it does help.
What helps?
When you is an introvert, you know, basic definition of an introvert, they are calm, collected, they're just there. They don't like getting out to the people. They don't like doing things which will attract attention to them or will put them on the limelight. And I'm telling you for sure, every man, they admire that. They want to have a woman who's out there doing something.
The trophy element.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when you is an extrovert, you tend to have a lot of that. And when you have an extreme of that, some men, it reaches to a point where they it begin to turn them off, because now they begin to get jealous.
Yeah.
I mean, man. You know, we have men who are not so confident about their women getting out there. So they begin like, oh my God.
They feel insecure.
Yeah, exactly, insecure.
Yeah. All right.
So
give us your parting shot. Sorry, because
we're getting into another show.
Time is really over. This is part 2.
We need to come back to
Tell us, I really want you to give us your parting shot. I don't know if I will be scripting you, but I would like it to be about balance.
And also give us your contacts,
and your contacts,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, for me, I think like if everyone understands themselves, as Seneca said, know thyself, and that is the biggest thing you can ever do, which will elevate you to the level where you want to be at, or get you the life you want, the good life. Know yourself. When you know yourself, it will be easy dealing with other people who maybe know themselves or don't know themselves. So you won't have room for the clashes and everything. So understand yourself, invest in mind. The way you do it is read books, as many books as possible. If you want to get into marriage, don't just go there with your own gut feeling. Go grab some books about marriages, how to survive and this and that. There's plenty of knowledge out there. Invest in your mind. So now when that time comes, you'll be able to understand what to do at the right time. My social media pages are Joseph Moore Official, all through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, and WhatsApp.
All right, guys, that's it for today. We are so happy for your company. Remember to interact with us, GBS TV Africa, on all platforms, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.